Sarah Baartman's story is a stark reminder of the horrors of colonialism, European racism, and its lasting impact. Born in South Africa in the late 18th century, her life took a sad turn when she was taken from her homeland and shown as a curiosity in Europe. For years, she was paraded across Europe, objectified and mocked for her physical features. Baartman's story compels us to look beyond the surface and face the uncomfortable truths of racism, colonialism, and the exploitation of marginalized communities. The name Hottentot Venus, cruelly bestowed upon Sarah Baartman, encapsulates the dehumanizing gaze of European colonialism. Baartman was reduced to a mere object of curiosity, her humanity stripped away by a society obsessed with exoticism and driven by racial prejudice. Exhibited in museums and fairs, Baartman was subjected to the scrutiny of scientists and the gawking of the public alike. Her body, particularly her buttocks, became a source of fascination and speculation, fueling racist stereotypes and pseudoscientific theories about African women. Despite the dehumanization she endured, Sarah Baartman's story has transcended the confines of colonial narratives. In recent decades, there has been a concerted effort to reclaim her story, transforming her from an object of pity and spectacle into a symbol of resilience, resistance, and the ongoing struggle for social justice. Scholars, artists, and activists have sought to restore her dignity, recognizing her not merely as a victim but as a complex human being deserving of respect and remembrance. Her image has been reclaimed as a symbol of black beauty and power, challenging Eurocentric standards of beauty and celebrating the diversity of human bodies. Sarah Baartman was born into the Khoikhoi people, a nomadic pastoralist community indigenous to southern Africa in the late 1700s. The exact date and location of her birth remain shrouded in the mists of time, lost to the annals of history that often neglected to record the lives of marginalized people. Baartman's childhood was likely steeped in the rich cultural traditions of the Khoikhoi people. She would have grown up surrounded by the sights and sounds of her nomadic community, learning the ways of her ancestors. Sarah Baartman's early life, while rooted in the traditions of her Khoikhoi heritage, was tragically disrupted by the encroaching forces of colonialism. The arrival of European settlers in South Africa brought with it a wave of violence, displacement, and cultural disruption that would forever alter the course of Baartman's life. Orphaned and vulnerable, Baartman's life took another turn when she was forced into indentured servitude on a Dutch farm. In 1810, Sarah Baartman's life took a dramatic turn that would forever alter its course. She was persuaded, under dubious circumstances, to leave her homeland and embark on a journey across the vast expanse of the Atlantic Ocean to London, England. The individuals who orchestrated this life-altering voyage were Hendrik Caesars and Alexander Dunlop, a ship's surgeon. Whether Baartman truly understood the nature of these promises or was coerced into agreeing to the journey remains a subject of debate among historians. Upon her arrival in London, Sarah Baartman was thrust into a society grappling with its burgeoning colonial ambitions and obsessed with notions of racial difference. Baartman, with her steatopygia, a genetic condition common to the Khoikhoi people that resulted in pronounced buttocks, became an object of intense curiosity for European audiences. Her body, particularly her buttocks, was deemed exotic and fascinating, a tangible manifestation of the other that fueled colonial fantasies and anxieties. Baartman was paraded through the streets of London, subjected to the gawking stares of curious onlookers and the scrutiny of scientists and anthropologists eager to study and measure her physique. Sarah Baartman's exploitation reached its cruel pinnacle in her exhibition at Piccadilly Circus, a bustling entertainment district in the heart of London. Here, under the degrading title of the Hottentot Venus, she was put on display for the public's amusement, her body treated as a commodity to be consumed and profited from. Baartman was forced to perform for audiences, her movements scrutinized and ridiculed. Even amidst the darkness of Sarah Baartman's exploitation, there were glimmers of hope and resistance. The abolitionist movement, gaining momentum in England at the time, recognized the injustice of Baartman's situation and sought to secure her release. They saw her treatment as a horrifying example of the cruelty inherent in colonialism and the slave trade, which, though officially abolished in the British Empire in 1808, continued to cast a long shadow. Abolitionists campaigned tirelessly, raising awareness about Baartman's plight and challenging the legal arguments used to justify her captivity. In 1814, after years of enduring the indignities of exhibition in London, Sarah Baartman found herself transported across the English Channel to Paris. One might assume that a change in geography might offer some respite from the relentless exploitation she had faced. But tragically, Paris would prove to be an even crueler stage for her ordeal. While London had gawked at her as a spectacle, Paris sought to dissect and analyze her, reducing her to a mere specimen in the name of science. Baartman was sold to an animal trainer named Rowe, a man who saw no moral conflict in displaying a human being alongside his menagerie of exotic beasts. If the crowds in London had dehumanized Sarah Baartman with their stares, the scientists of Paris dissected her with their scalpels, both literally and figuratively. Georges Cuvier, a renowned naturalist of the time, was particularly interested in Baartman. He subjected her to a series of examinations, measuring her body, sketching her features, and even taking casts of her body. These examinations were conducted without her consent and with a callous disregard for her dignity. As Sarah Baartman's time in Paris wore on, her health deteriorated. The relentless exploitation, the emotional toll of her captivity, and the harsh realities of life in a foreign land took their toll on her body and spirit. She developed a dependency on alcohol, a desperate attempt to numb the pain of her existence. Her once vibrant spirit, the spirit that had sustained her through years of adversity, began to fade. Despite the horrors inflicted upon her, there is evidence to suggest that Baartman never completely surrendered to despair. She formed friendships with some of the people she encountered in Paris, finding moments of human connection amidst the darkness. She is said to have enjoyed singing and dancing, clinging to fragments of her cultural heritage as a source of solace and strength. Even in her darkest hours, Sarah Baartman's spirit, though battered and bruised, refused to be extinguished. This section will offer a glimpse into the final years of Baartman's life, acknowledging the physical and emotional toll of her ordeal, while also highlighting her resilience and her capacity for human connection, even in the face of unimaginable hardship. We will see that even as her body weakened, her spirit remained unbroken, a testament to the enduring strength of the human will. In December 1815, at 26, Sarah Baartman died in Paris. Her death's cause is debated, from smallpox to pneumonia worsened by exploitation. Death did not end her suffering. Georges Cuvier dissected her body, preserving parts in jars. Her remains were displayed in the Musée de l'Homme for over a century. Cuvier's actions reflected a disregard for her humanity. This section explores Baartman's posthumous exploitation and its ethical implications. Section 2. A fight for repatriation, reclaiming dignity across continents. For decades, Sarah Baartman's remains lay in the Musée de l'Homme, a silent testament to the enduring legacy of colonialism and the dehumanizing gaze of scientific racism. However, the fight to reclaim her dignity and return her to her homeland was not easily extinguished. As the 20th century progressed, a growing movement emerged, demanding the repatriation of Baartman's remains to South Africa. Anti-apartheid activists saw in Baartman's story a powerful symbol of the exploitation and oppression faced by black South Africans. They recognized that her repatriation was not merely a matter of returning bones to the earth, but an act of symbolic justice, a recognition of her humanity, and a repudiation of the racist ideologies that had fueled her exploitation. The call for Baartman's return gained momentum, echoing across continents, and resonating with those fighting for racial equality and social justice worldwide. This section will trace the history of the movement to repatriate Baartman's remains, highlighting the key individuals and organizations that fought tirelessly for her return. We will explore the political and social context of this struggle, examining the ways in which Baartman's story became a rallying point for those challenging colonialism, racism, and the legacy of exploitation. Section 3, The Long Journey Home, from Paris to Hanky, a homecoming. In 2002, after years of tireless campaigning and international pressure, the French government finally agreed to return Sarah Baartman's remains to South Africa. This historic decision marked a significant victory for those who had fought so hard to right a historical wrong and offer Baartman the dignified burial she had been denied for nearly 2 centuries. On August 9, 2002, Baartman's remains arrived in Cape Town, met by a solemn ceremony and an outpouring of national grief and remembrance. Her journey home, however, did not end in Cape Town. In accordance with her Khoisan heritage and the wishes of her descendants, Baartman was laid to rest in her ancestral land of Hanky, a small town in the Eastern Cape province of South Africa. The burial ceremony, attended by thousands, was a deeply moving event, a testament to the enduring power of Baartman's story and the importance of honoring her memory with respect and dignity. This section will transport viewers to South Africa, allowing them to witness the emotional homecoming of Sarah Baartman's remains. We will explore the significance of her burial in Hanky, highlighting the cultural and spiritual importance of returning to one's ancestral land. Sarah Baartman's story, rooted in tragedy, has become a powerful symbol of resilience and social justice. Her repatriation sparked broader conversations about race and colonialism. Baartman's story inspires artists, activists, and scholars worldwide. Today, she is remembered as a symbol of black beauty and power. Her legacy challenges prejudice and honors human dignity. Sarah Baartman's story lights the path to a brighter future. Sarah Baartman's story is a stark reminder of colonialism's enduring legacy and the insidious nature of racism. Her exploitation reveals the depths of human depravity driven by prejudice and greed. Baartman was reduced to a spectacle, a chilling reminder of colonialism's dehumanizing gaze. Her story serves as a cautionary tale in our globalized world. Racism and white supremacy continue to shape power dynamics and perpetuate inequalities. Confronting Baartman's story helps dismantle harmful stereotypes and systemic biases. In recent decades, there has been a powerful movement to reclaim Sarah Baartman's narrative, to shift the focus from her exploitation to her humanity, her resilience, and her enduring legacy. Artists, writers, scholars, and activists have sought to restore her dignity, to give voice to her silent story, and to transform her from an object of pity and spectacle into a symbol of black beauty, power, and resistance. Through various mediums, from paintings and sculptures to poems, plays, and films, Baartman's image has been reclaimed and reimagined. No longer confined to the dehumanizing portrayals of the past, she is now depicted with strength, dignity, and grace, her gaze steady and defiant. These artistic representations challenge the Eurocentric standards of beauty that were imposed upon her, celebrating the diversity of human bodies and affirming the beauty and worth of all people. This section will showcase the inspiring ways in which artists and cultural creators have reclaimed Sarah Baartman's narrative, transforming her from a symbol of exploitation into a beacon of empowerment. We will explore the impact of these artistic representations on contemporary understandings of race, gender, and representation, highlighting the transformative power of art to challenge dominant narratives and inspire social change. Sarah Baartman's story, though deeply tragic, has become a rallying cry for social justice, inspiring activism and advocacy on a global scale. Her experience serves as a stark reminder of the vulnerabilities faced by marginalized communities, particularly women of color, who continue to be subjected to various forms of exploitation, objectification, and discrimination. The fight to repatriate Baartman's remains to South Africa was itself a testament to the power of collective action and the unwavering pursuit of justice. The movement transcended geographical boundaries, uniting people from diverse backgrounds in a common cause, to restore dignity to a woman who'd been denied it in life and in death. This spirit of advocacy continues to inspire efforts to address contemporary injustices, from challenging racial profiling and police brutality to fighting for gender equality and the rights of Indigenous peoples. For more historical awareness stories like this, please like, share and subscribe.